Good morning. My name is Renee and I went to see The Son of God last night, and so I'm going to talk about it. The Son of God is a movie about the life of Jesus Christ. It was about his birth all the way up to the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It talks about, it starts off with him being born and his mother and father and the wise men coming to see him. And then it goes to his adult age where he's preaching and teaching, around Jerusalem. How he chooses his disciples and picks them, and then how he teaches them, shows them the right way versus religion, what they were taught. And he goes through, the movie goes through Jesus' whole life all the way to them crucifying him, the Pharisees and the Sadducees getting jealous and saying he's blaspheming. Of course, they end up crucifying Jesus, so of course the beatings in there where they beat him and they put him on a cross and nail him and hang him, bury him in a tomb. He raises up again, goes back and shows his disciple that, he's alive, and he tells them, of course, at the end, all that I've taught you, go out and teach the world. I believe that the movie was very good. It was good. Had a few dramatic scenes, nothing 3D, of course, but it did show, bits and pieces of those in the Bible before Jesus, like Noah, parting the water. Like Moses parting the water. Noah building the ark and the flooding come to destroy the earth. And it also showed Jesus walking on the water and he asking Peter to come to him, and Peter walked on the water. So, all in all, it was good. I really liked the character that played Jesus. I really liked him, the way he looked. His hair was long, he was kind of dark skinned, brown eyes. He kind of favored Jesus of how they described him in the Bible. And his followers, his disciples, the ones that played his disciples, they were good. Especially Judas, and Judas was the one that betrayed Jesus. And so Judas, he was always looking kind of like iffy, like in the movie. He looked sneaky. He looked like you couldn't trust him. And so if I didn't know that was Judas, then I would have known watching the movie. If somebody had told me the story, I would have known immediately that was him because of how he acted. His mother Mary, she cried. She showed emotion. Yes, that was the Son of God, but that was her son. And she cried, when they crucified him. And that showed emotion, and they didn't just quote Bible scriptures, they talked in dialect, and like me and you were talking. And I really enjoyed that because then that made me understand, the movie, that I could relate. I could relate to a mother and her son died. I could relate to betrayal. Somebody being betrayed, and because Jesus knew that Judas was going to betray him. He knew that Peter was going to deny him. So, and these are his friends, because he walked with them and talked with them all the time. So, that was good. I really liked that. I really enjoyed. They kind of let me in on it. I could understand. I could relate. It wasn't something that was just over my head. And so I really enjoyed that part. I really liked that. And even Jesus, he yelled when they whooped him and they beat him, and he cried and he showed emotion. He even asked us to be forgiven at the end on the cross. And he showed emotion there. He really felt compassion for us, for the world. Even people that hurt it. They took just bits and pieces of Jesus' life, and you seen a snippet of here and there. I think that they could have given you more of a story of each of it, or went into more detail instead of just kind of making it broad, just kind of skimming over different things that he'd done in his life. I think it could have been, a little bit more detailed. A few of the actors could have been a little bit more in it. They knew that was their part. Like I believe some of the goers, that took Jesus. They were doing what they were supposed to do, but they just knew they were supposed to do it, not kind of being really too mean. It wasn't as graphic or as detailed as the Passion of the Christ. And I've seen that, and the Passion of the Christ is detailed. I mean, it's very detailed, it's very graphic. It even go into the minds and the thoughts of the people, and you didn't have that there. The Son of God is very family friendly. I took my family to see it, and I have an 8-year-old. Because of some of the graphics, they might cover their eyes. It might be a little too graphic for them because they're young children, but overall in all, your family could go see it, and your family would understand. They could understand it. They could go and see it, and they could understand it. I would tell anybody to go and see it. I think that it's a good movie. I mean, it portrays a good part of Jesus' life. I really enjoyed The Son of God. I really did. And if I were you, I would recommend that you take your family to see it. Take your friends, take a cousin, take a sister, take your mama. Go and see the movie. It is very well worth seeing. I would go. I went, I would go. I would go back to take somebody else that didn't see it. So I would rate it out of a 5. I would rate it a 4. I would rate it a 4 because it did tell the life of Jesus, The characters were true. It was broad, but overall in all, it was good.
Save us from the Romans, Lord!
There is something unusual about him.